I often wonder, how does Clark Kent, aka Superman, aka Kal-El, keep his spit curl? I put a gallon of gel in this every day, and by 8 hours later, it's starting to fall apart, while his shit stays in place while he flies faster than the speed of sound. Do you think he uses super gel? Maybe it's a spit curl because he just spits on his hand. It's spit laced with Superman's DNA that's that strong. Or maybe another bodily fluid. As the Extreme channel is pushing towards 50,000 subscribers, these are just a few of the statues we are giving away on the journey there. If you want to know how to win one, stay tuned for later in the video. Hey, welcome to the Extreme channel. Today we're looking at a 1/3 scale statue of none other than Superman. Now if this looks a little bit different and familiar, we'll get to that in a second, it's because this is from the DC Dark Knight Metal storyline. Here is a cover it's based off of right here. Now, while I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the events in this Dark Knight Metal storyline, I'm familiar because I've read the omnibus and I have these statues right here that are versions of Bruce Wayne mixed with other characters. Now, Superman, or Kal-El, had his own place in this as well, but I never read that part of the story, although I do own the slab. But I do know that he turned evil. You can see in the statue he's actually crushing Batman's cowl, and he just looks incredibly badass. Another reason why I said this might look familiar, I actually own a custom quarter scale, so smaller than this statue that I've reviewed right here. And this is really important because this is actually part of a giveaway. At 30,000 subs, we're going to give this and another statue away and some runner-up prizes. Here's some more details. We will be giving all of these statues away, plus additional ones at every 5,000 subscriber milestone. To win one of these statues, all you have to do is make sure you've liked this video, you've subscribed to the channel, you've hit that bell notification, and then just drop a comment below. Every 5,000 subscriber milestone, we are going to do a random drawing and pick a random comment and give one of these statues away, plus some additional ones I'm not showing right now. The more videos you comment on, the higher your chances are to win. Alright, so I bought this just simply because it looked badass and I thought it would place really well with Prime 1 Studios' Superman Hush, another 1/3 scale Superman, and believe it or not, they're making another version of this from an offshoot storyline, Death Metal Superman, which I'm unfamiliar with that, I haven't read it yet. I really like to wait until comics come into compilations or omnibuses instead of buying individual single issues. But we're going to review this guy today. He's part of that Dark Knight Metal line. He's going to look great with them. I'm going to put him with Superman. If you want to see where he's going to be displayed, check out the Extreme channel's social media, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. The link for those is in the description below. Now, this statue is probably, as a spoiler, my least favorite of all these I've reviewed so far, although it is still pretty cool. Let's look at the concept of the piece, and while the concept is cool and based off the cover, I think they added some stuff they didn't need to. For example, you have a museum-style base on the bottom, and then you have probably the top of the building with some symbolic stuff. It has the Superman symbol, and then some skulls, because he is about death, death metal. This is Barbados, who brings death. That's where he got corrupted in another dimension. But that entire section, it's more of a design thing, isn't even needed. He's standing on a ton of skulls, just like he is in the cover here. The one thing that's different as you move up compared to the cover is his hand positions. While there are a number of hand switch outs we're going to look at, none of them exactly match the cover, but I think it's close enough. He's a very bulky Superman. So while most Superman are really muscular and athletic, there's a lot more girth to this guy. And part of that's his costume. It's kind of a rendition costume, which is kind of weird. Why does he need additional armor? I mean, he's Kal-El. He's Superman. Arguably one of the most, if not the most powerful character in DC Comics. You see him here. He doesn't just have Batman's cowl, but you'll see some close-ups. It's Batman's skull. So he defeated Bruce Wayne. We assume it was from Earth 1. Again, I haven't read that part of the story. And a very menacing portrait. He has his heat vision. His eyes are starting to glare. So just a really evil, badass Superman. And I think it's going to fit the entire line well. That's why I bought him. Plus, I just buy stupid shit. But I think the concept's pretty cool. Based off the cover, they pulled it off another character in the Dark Knight Metal line, and it seems like we're going to continue to get those characters because I have a few more coming in. I've ordered every single one. The next one to arrive is actually going to be The Drowned, this piece right here. So make sure to stay tuned for that. That'll be in the next few weeks. And then farther out is actually Devastator, which is Batman turning into Doomsday, or a version of Doomsday, which I think those two would be cool. paste off of each other, although I don't know if that happened in the comics. I don't think it did. Could be wrong. If I'm wrong, throw that down in the comments. But for now, I think the concept's a 3 out of 5. It's nothing really creative. It's good, not great. Design, like I said, definitely a few issues here. I don't like how thick Superman is, although it is based off the cover, so I don't really blame them. We'll talk about the other stuff after we look at the unboxing and assembly. I lost the pictures of the shippers, and I never take out the art boxes, but here's the foam. You saw there was kind of a hidden layer on the top of this first one where his cape was. Then all the body parts are in the second one, but it was actually 2 boxes. So the other one had the base and only the base in it. All right, 1/3 scale means 3 times smaller than a real-life version. The widest point is about 18 inches. For exact dimensions, I got this from Comic Concepts. There's a link for them in the description below. Make sure to check them out. 17 inches deep, and he is a very tall mother at 35 inches, just under. And I think that's a huge problem. As I talked about, this middle section here is worthless. They should have eliminated the entire thing. It just adds extra height, makes him way too tall. Seriously, I heard people say fucking height presence. It's fucking tall. As I said, there are some switch outs. Let's look at those. There are 2 portraits with the deluxe version, and I quite like both. We'll take a closer look at them, but one's a calm portrait, the other's more fierce, gritted teeth and the eyes. 3 left-hand options, one where he's holding up in a fist, the other one where it's actually all the way down, kind of like the cover, and then the last, the one I like, holding the Batman skull. So I put all the other switch outs back in the box. This is how I intend to display him, with the slab right below him. All the Dark Knight metal pieces, I have their corresponding slabs. So the switch outs are okay. I don't think they're amazing. The mixed media cape, I am glad to an extent they didn't do a fabric cape because he would be so much heavier and those are harder to display. But this is pretty cheap. So I think it's a 3 out of 5 as well on the design. Nothing great, nothing horrible. Paint and sculpt, there's some really good stuff, but it doesn't pop like the other pieces. And I'm trying to figure out why. I can't figure it out. Maybe I'll figure it out as we do this close-up video. So at the end, I'm going to show you more close-ups of the other portrait. I already put it back in the box, but let's start with the base. So this kind of bronze, it's not patina really, but I do like it. I think it's good. It doesn't just really make sense with the rest of the statue. So it's not necessarily that the paint or sculpt is bad. The skulls look really cool. There's almost some like cathedral-like designs, and they have this faded gray and black paint everywhere. I like the Superman symbol is kind of this dark brown that contrasts really well. With that subtle museum base, a different type of brown, it does flow well with the other colors of the statue. The rocks he's standing on look nice. I think they could have used some more texture, but I do like how they intermix the skulls. Like even below you see some there, and they have kind of this mix between blue and green and the traditional off-white color that you see with skeletons. And then you can even see the colorization of the teeth. I think that's pretty cool. What I like about him is the shine. So it's not everywhere. You'll see it like in the gauntlets, the gloves, the boots, and then even some of his outfit. I like that. I think it gives a nice contrast like some of the other pieces. While he's pretty large, he is on here as well. Sorry, I know the color wasn't that good. But they did a great job with the detail. Look at the buckles on there. Prime One is fantastic with that. It's almost like layered armor. but you see the fabric material. There's some texture to that part of it right there. The buckles on the boots, and a lot of different colors going on. Different shades of blue and black, gold, red. Looks really good, brown. So not the traditional Superman. You see scuffed up, so definitely some battle damage. I like that. You traditionally don't see that in Superman. A lot of detail. Stitching on the pants. Here's the buckles for his knee pads. Don't know why Superman needs knee pads. The cape is pretty shitty, in my opinion. It has kind of this burnt effect on the bottom, but it's a really cheap material. There is opposable wire in the ends, but not on the bottom. Not a fan of this cape at all. I'm also not a fan how it covers up these cool skulls up here. I think that's a miss, because those look great, almost like this blood red on the teeth. So still some really, really cool detail. Here is the skull of Batman, kind of hard to see. Reminds me of a Batman statue I used to have where he was holding a skull of Flash. You really can't see it, but I like that, how torn up it is right here. A lot of cool detail. It's kind of an off-color cowl for Batman. The portraits are phenomenal. Look really good. I love the hair. There's a little bit of blue tint to it, but I love the wave. And then the skin looks fabulous. Really impressive portraits. Look what they did. There are decals in the eyes for that, but then the shadowing around them, the anger with the pursed eyes and gritted teeth, look really, really good. The portrait is the best part, in my opinion. And the rest is pretty good, too. I'm not trying to take away from that. But even, I wanted an angry Superman, but even the other portrait is still pretty damn good, in my opinion. Here's some shots and comments on that. All right. Paint. It's cool. It's definitely cool. Like I said, I like the shine. The cape downgrades it a little bit, but we kind of knock points off in design for that. I think it's a 4 out of 5 on the paint. Very, very cool. The sculpt, I love the portraits, and part of that could be the paint, but I think overall it's also a 4 out of 5. Prime One Studio is just so good at these 1/3 pieces, but usually they're 5 out of 5. That's probably why I seem a little disappointed. So even though I'm disappointed in him, because he's not as good as the other pieces, was he still worth it? One of my main go-tos for Prime One Studio pieces is Comic Concepts. That's where I got this guy. The reason I go there is not only are they usually a little bit cheaper than retail, amazing customer service, and probably the cheapest shipping rates out there. Again, check out the link in the description below, where to buy statues. Click on that. Click on Comic Concepts. Check them out. I don't get a kickback if you buy anything from them, but definitely a good place not only to check out Prime One Studio, but many, many other brands of statues as well. So what I really like about this guy is they only made 500 total. 400 are the bonus edition. So it has those extra switch outs we talked about, including the additional hand up, the Batman skull, the extra portrait with the heat vision. Those 400 retailed for $1,299, $1,299 plus shipping and tax. The others, they made 100 of them without all the additional switch outs, and that route was $100 cheaper. So $100 more, you get another portrait, 2 extra arm switch outs, definitely worth it in my opinion, to go with that deluxe bonus version that I have here. $1,300 isn't bad for a 1/3 scale piece. Now what I really like about this is I've talked about this Dark Knight metal line. A lot of people don't like merging Bruce Wayne, but this is just an evil Superman. So you would think this actually has a bigger audience. Like if you're a Superman collector, it'd be like, yeah, that'd be cool to have an evil Superman that kills Batman. So you don't necessarily have to do like a whole Dark Knight metal line collection for that. So I think that's good. Now normally I'd rank this like a 4 out of 5 on the value, but it's still available after being out for a while. So for that reason, I give it a 3 out of 5 on the value. So does this have the X factor? Is he a 5 out of 5 statue? You know, it's been a while since I got a statue that was not 5 out of 5 or even, you know, at the least 4 out of 5. I think overall it's a 3 out of 5. I do like it. I am disappointed because the other pieces are so great. I have every intention to keep him probably until they release their next Dark Knight metal piece because I'm going to need the space. But for now, I'm going to keep him for a while, at least a year, and I'll see what he looks like in the display. Hey, thank you so much. If you want to see what it looks like in display, again, check out that social media. Subscribe to the channel because there is a room tour coming up soon. If it hasn't happened already and you already saw them, then this is all moot. It's not moot. You can still hit the like. There's something you can do. I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.